Right, Khushbu. Today, for strategic darshan, you have asked me to analyze the referendum which is going to take place in Ukraine on those regions which Russians are controlling it. It is happening after 7 months when the Russian, actually unleashed the war. They started the war in February on 24, and today is 23rd. So September, exactly 7 months have passed. And why this referendum, and what are the implications, and what is going to happen hereafter? I feel, Khushbu, it is very, very interesting, to analyze strategically, because it has got a lot of implications, because it is going to be a landmark, and exactly it is following a pattern what happened in 2008 when the Russians had gone for Georgia, and then 2014 when they have annexed the Crimea, and now in the 4 regions, Luhansk, Donetsk, then into area of Zaporizhzhia, that is in certain small areas of Zaporizhzhia, and complete Kherson. So why at this stage? We have to understand. There are a lot of narrative which has been, actually coming from the West, and coming from, from Ukraine itself. When Zelensky is, claiming and saying that, he has got in their counteroffensive, they have able to gain, and even he's saying that, 8,000 square kilometer, and more than that he has recaptured. There is some reality on it, especially in the area when you see towards in Luhansk, the Injom area, we will see, very soon on the map. Even in some areas, some pockets of Kherson, there is exchange of arty-duel and, your firepower, which is taking place, artillery and HIMARS, the strike which is taking place. We have seen that, also there has been a unprecedented, fire assault in Crimea about a month back, where Russians have suffered some heavy losses, including the aircrafts in Crimea. There has been also exodus of the population because they are fearing that something more is going to happen. It is also interesting that the Putin, in the address to his to Russians people, he has said first time that was, up till now it was a special military operations, now partial mobilization, where he is going to mobilize 3 lakh troops out of, and these are reservists, and basically these are those soldier or combat experience, the people who have retired or who are veterans. Now they are he is going to recruit them, he is going to take them, and these reservists is going to move in this area. And now he is saying that our military operations are going to start in a real sense. So why this? Why all these things happen? I think in the Putin has got a game plan. When he came, that it was about 1.5 lakh troops on which he has come. A very small, when you say the militarily, he has not put the whole complete combat potential of his. He has very selectively used, and he has been bringing a combat maneuverability. When he came from north, then he withdrew, then also from northeast withdrew, especially from the area of what we have seen in Kiev, what we have seen into in Kharkiv, in Sumy, in these areas, and he concentrated. Then he started a major offensive in the east and the south. The Battle of Mariupol, and with the job still, the steel plant, it was unprecedented. I think that was also a turning point. Also, what he did it in Sea of Azov, and what he has done it into the Black Sea, in that area, in Sevastopol area, I think it is absolutely with absolutely a clarity of operation as far he is concerned, Russia is concerned, where a narrative which is basically because your NATO and the Western allies, they are fighting a proxy through Ukraine, especially Zelensky. So they create a narrative which is there, especially into the media and in the social media domain. It looks like that something is going wrong and Putin is losing the battle. But why? That is important. Why now? Let's see on the map what is going to happen in this referendum when it is going to take place from 23rd, that is today, till 27. And I think he's setting a stage for a thing which I always say is going to be a frozen conflict, the way it was there in Crimea, what it was there in Georgia. See, in this map, what you see, basically the four areas: Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhzhia, and Kherson. Crimea has been, their part, and in Crimea, in 2014, they carried out a similar type of referendum. But before this, in 2008 in Georgia, especially in the two independent area of South Ossetia and Abankhazia of Georgia, a similar type of the strategy the Putin has unleashed in 2008. So more or less same thing is happening now in September 2022. Why this? The referendum is that whether the people of this area, these regions, wants to join the Russian Federation. And it is more or less, I think it is clear the way the things will move. All stage has been set that the referendum result will be out and people will be asking that they will join the Russian Federation. Once Russian Federation, they come under the umbrella of Russian Federation, then the Putin has got a lot of freedom to carry out the operation which he has been talking about. First thing, why he is mobilizing and why he has given a withdrawal, especially if something has gone wrong into the area of Izium somewhere here in this area, which is a very, very small area, which is in a counter-offensive, the Ukraine is able to take it. In Kherson, also in this general area, there has been, some area, some pockets where the counter-offensive by Ukrainian has been successful. In Zaporizhzhia, the nuclear plant over here, there has been, absolutely, fire assault from both the sides. Russians have been firing. Of course, the nuclear plant is operated by Ukrainian operators from there, but the control is of Russia. So that is very interesting. And one thing more has happened, Khushbu, during this time, when exchange of prisoners has taken place. And mind you, we are on 23rd September 2022. Putin has got a major stake, and for which he has set the stage. Nord Stream 1, basically, the energy war he is going to enlist. He has made it. He has made the stage, but he is waiting for the winter to set in, and the winter is going to start somewhere in the end of this month and the beginning of October, November, December, January, February. It's come down. So about 4 months, if the West and the allies and NATO carries on the way they are helping the Ukraine, probably he will going to unleash this this energy war with especially with Europe and it is going to be very, very devastating. It is going to be very, very severe winter, and everyone going to pinch the sword. As on today, no one is actually getting that pinch. Who is only pinching to Ukrainians, and a heavy cost. Men, material, population displacement, the complete cutoff, their infrastructure is getting destroyed every day. People are suffering. The Ukraine now is the first time when everyone will start suffering. He has given a test of this when he seized this in Black Sea for the movement of food grain, which was there into area of Odessa. Odessa is somewhere here in this port, and the food grains were not allowed, and there was a total siege, which with the UN in coming in and especially with Turkey, they have some understanding, and he is able to move. So that was one thing. Release of prisoner is one indications, but both the side, and it has been done again by Turkey and with Saudi Arabia. So what happens if what the Russians will do once this referendum is done? 3 lakh troops plus 1.5 lakhs already there, 4 and 5 lakhs in these 4 regions. Russia is going to have their military bases. They will have the air base. They will move their air defense system in a big way in these areas, and these military bases will be that strong, and they will try to make it slowly a defensive posture where a counter offensive can be only possible not by the fire assault, but it will be requiring to the physically attacking those areas and taking over. It is like a trench warfare, the way the Ukrainian did it. Ukrainian were fighting this war in area of Donetsk and Luhansk from 2014 onwards. In spite of the Minsk Accord, which was done for the Luhansk and Donetsk as autonomous region, but Ukraine was able to fight it and there was about 70,000 casualties, during that time. So, Russia will able to do it, and this is the way put it. There are a lot of again things are coming that people are not happy for this type of general mobilization or the partial mobilization, but I think Putin will be able to suppress it, because I think it is not more than about less than 200 people have been apprehended. There has been there is people are opposing for it because the people are suffering. The people also do not want to be absolutely isolated. They don't want to be getting segregated from the rest of the world. The sanctions should not play, and that's why the people are coming that way. But I think the Putin is going to prevail. The Russian defense Ministry of Defense is going to prevail. What is Lavrov has been he's been talking about? What has been talking about the previous president? He is also talking in the terms what exactly the Putin is asking, and Putin is actually looking for that regaining something what he lost. They lost Russia as a part of the USSR. They lost in 1991, and Ukraine. They feel that Ukraine is the people are the same. A lot of Russians are settled here, and they feel that Ukraine. And that way is the red line, and exactly what they did in Crimea in 2014, they are going to do in this area, and any retaliation will be a heavy, retaliation from the side of Russia, and they may go, because he has been also giving a hint that if it is required for the self-defense of this area, because this will be the part of Russia, they can, if required in self-defense, can use their nuclear weapons, which is a far-fetched but a reality which the West understands. They can't take it lightly.
Thank you, General Sinha, for your in-depth analysis. Viewers, if you've enjoyed this video and wish to see more such videos, Click on the subscribe button given below.